Really dark. I would just turn on all the lights. Hopefully people hear me. Seems like they do. How do you share the link with this with people? Kind of an ugly shot. Hey, how's it going? Whoever just arrived. Welcome to virtual classroom. You can, I guess it's a one-way video, but there's text chat in the sidebar here. So feel free to say hello, etc. Hey, Vborn, how's it going? Boy, the world's changing, isn't it? Anyway, here we are online. Peppermint tea, hot, good. Yeah. Well, as I'm sure you've gotten a bunch of emails, you know, we're converting to online education, at least until April 20. You know, as the news gets worse, that's starting to feel optimistic. So for at least a good chunk of the semester, if not the whole semester, will be online. In the case of Art 490, you know, it's a class in making online content. It's making websites, so it shouldn't really be particularly hard for us to do this online. The agenda for today really is just to say hello and see how everybody's doing and see whatever help you need, whether it's help with websites or help with being online or questions about Long Beach State or, you know, life itself. So let me know how I can help or how things are working or any questions you have. In terms of Art 490, you know, we've actually just last week finished with all of the writing, photography, etc. And so now, you know, last week, this week, it's pick a platform, Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, Medium, or whatever you like, and start putting that content there. And then I guess next week we'll start looking at sites already and doing critiques. So when you do have a site up, even if it's just, you know, the beginnings of one, you can go ahead and go back to our discussion page and post your URL. So we'll be able to find out where everybody is. So what's everybody up to? How are your classes? What questions do you have that I might be able to answer for our class or for anything else? And it's only been obviously a couple of days, but it seems like it's going to be quite a while before the old normal returns. So I hope everybody's doing okay. And again, I'm not an expert by any means on pandemics or what the future holds, but I'll help with anything I can if you have questions about anything. Otherwise, I'll just drink peppermint tea. Peppermint tea and a few raisins, actually. How's everybody doing? Go ahead and tell me something in the text chat. I'd offer you raisins, but I don't think virtual raisins work that well, so you'll have to get your own, I guess. Greetings, everyone. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you see a little text window on the right there. Hi, Danielle. So let me answer Danielle's question since it's, well, I'll answer Danielle's question and then I'll come back to Deborn's question. So probably for most people, Wix or Squarespace will be the easiest and best. As far as I can tell, they're about the same. There are people who love Squarespace and think Wix sucks. There are people who love Wix and think Squarespace sucks. So I think I'm not able to tell a real difference, but I'm pretty sure that those are the two easiest, most stable, etc. The one difference, as I mentioned in class last week, is that with Wix, there's the freemium option. So if you want to pay nothing now and turn the ads off and get your own URL later, if you want to save the money at this time because you're a starving student, Wix will let you do that. You can get the me.wix.com with a few ads for nothing. Squarespace doesn't have a free option, although they do have a first year student 50% discount. So it's less if you want to go that far. Anyway, I would probably choose one of those two, and that's the answer to that. By next week, pick a website and build it. Yeah, that would be ideal. I mean, when you put it that way, it sounds like a really lot of work. I think it actually isn't that well. So yes, pick one and get a URL and give us the URL, and then put as much as you can. Basically, you've done all the writing about yourself and about your work. You've done all the photography of yourself and of your work. So it's pick Squarespace or Wix or WordPress or Medium or anything else. And then just make a few pages and put that stuff there. Shout out to me or to their tech support, or look for online tutorials if you need help with any of those things, or just, I would recommend actually poking around for a little while, because I think you will learn from just exploring the thing. It's going to be new. You haven't used it before, so it's going to be a little bit confusing. It will be a little bit frustrating, but put 5 or 10 hours in and it won't be a big deal, I don't think. So anyway, poking around helps you learn the thing, but if you poke around for too long, then you just get frustrated. So at that point, shoot a message to me or to Wix Squarespace tech support, or just jump online and type your question, and there'll probably be a blog post or a YouTube video that shows you how to do the thing that you can't figure out how to do. But basically, I would make a handful of pages and put the content up. So even though you might massage it and refine it and adjust the size of your logo and how big your name is and stuff like that, mess around with your menus, that basically you've got the website there, and you can kind of refine and keep going from there. So do what you can, and we'll go from there. So I guess I have now answered all questions. So let me know what else I can tell you about anything, if anything. Have some tea and raisins. I can't really show you the tea because then, let's see, can I show you tea? No, it doesn't work. Anyway, oh wait, it almost works. Look, peppermint tea. What do you think? It's pretty good. I recommend it. Danielle, okay, thank you. Also, if we have done all the writing and photos but haven't posted in our group board, we should still do that rather than just post straight on our site, correct? Actually, yeah. I mean, it's kind of a minor point, but the only thing we're really trying to do is get these websites made. However, it is a class and I have to give you some points, and so you can have a grade. So if you just quickly stuff the stuff on our class site like we've been doing, then I can give you points for having done each of those items, which will be good. So yes, if you would please post there as well, that would be great. Let me know any other questions about websites, and how's everybody doing? Are you okay so far? It's feeling, I have no knowledge, so I don't know what Long Beach State's gonna do, and I don't know what California and America and the world are gonna do. but it's feeling like we're very quickly learning how huge this virus is. And again, I have no knowledge. I'm just guessing here, but we have this like tentative return on April 20th date. It's kind of feeling like that's not going to happen. It's kind of feeling to me like the question is actually, will there be a face-to-face fall semester? Not if we're coming back today or not, this semester or not. But we'll see how that goes. But it seems like this is going to be months. That this is going to be quite a while. Again, in terms of us finishing Art 490, I don't think it's a big deal. I think, a making website class on the web seems almost obvious. So it's fine for us. But in terms of, if you have a job and that job may be paused because there aren't customers at that place anymore or things like that, yes, Vborn, exactly that. Okay, to summarize, pick a platform, put up some contents, put URL in Beachboard discussions, and be here for the live stream for Kachik. Yes, that's pretty much where we're at. So that's what I've got. I think Zoom, I think you can add stuff to YouTube Live, which I don't know how to do that yet. So we could probably pull up an actual website, although I'll have to, maybe I'll learn that in the next week or two. Or I think we'll try Zoom, or I'll try Zoom on Wednesday for any of those of you who want to come. Zoom makes it kind of easy for each person to talk on video, which you may or may not enjoy doing, but at least it's possible. So maybe Zoom will be better, but we'll find out. Great. So, gosh, it's 12:07. So I'll probably leave this on or hang out until 12:50, just for anyone else who wants to come by. You guys are welcome to stay if you want to watch me drink tea, but you can also head out if you have all the info that you need. So, again, I think Art 490 is not going to be difficult to do online, but depending on what other class. So Zoom is a piece of software. It's kind of like what we're doing right now. So this is YouTube Live, which is a piece of software that lets you use a camera and a microphone to stream to whoever wants to watch it. Zoom is a similar thing. YouTube Live is probably a little bit more broadcast-like in the sense of there could be a large number of people watching this one video, whereas Zoom is probably a little bit more conference-like. So the idea is like all of Art 490 could be connected on Zoom, and you'd see everybody's little picture up at the, looks like the bottom, but up at the top, you'd see everybody's little picture. And then if you talked, it would, your picture would take over the video and you could say whatever you wanted to say. So Zoom probably will be a little bit friendlier for discussion interaction, but I thought we'd try a little bit of each and see how that goes. So, so I'll give Zoom a shot at noon on Wednesday. Poke your nose in if you're able. But basically, I think where we're at. And again, it seems like this thing's going to be going on for this social distancing / isolation / quarantine for the virus. Seems like it's going to be going on. It doesn't feel like it's going to be weeks at this point. It's starting to feel more like we're looking at months. So, whatever you need to make your life work out and hopefully keep things somewhat stable and not go crazy. Think about that and let me know if there's a way for me to help. But Art 490 probably the easiest part of the whole thing because it's really just do what we were going to do anyway. So I think we'll be fine. And I hope you all are fine. Let me know if are there any other questions I can answer for anyone. Otherwise, you can watch me eat raisins. Do you think that would work? A raisin eating channel? Okay, so maybe it would work. Maybe I'll have a more extensive meal on Wednesday. I actually need to get some grocery shopping, so I'll have to figure out how to do that. Maybe I'll have it delivered. Fortunately, I have undoubtedly like a year's supply of tea in the cupboard, so I think I have more tea than I have enough tea to wait out the virus. Anyway, oh, would you like a tour? So this is the living room. This is Monterey Park, California, kind of up to 605 or 710. Oh, this is my stand-in when I need to like focus. This is so let's see if you can see. So over here, I don't know. There's not really a way to. Oh yeah. Okay. So that thing in the background that you can barely see is a 60 by 40 photo print that I did a number of years ago. Oh, let's see if we can get this other one. Oh, there's another one. Okay. So, and then we've got this big X-ray over here. Big X-ray. Anyway, so I've got these actually printed and mounted photos, and I did that back in the day. Yes, if you want to watch a replay of me eating raisins, that would be fine. And I think so. This may be it's either my first YouTube live or it's the first one I've done in a long time. So I'm not really sure on the details, but I think when I click end stream, it will either save it or give me the option to save it. So probably it'll save, and I think the same is true with Zoom. So I'll put on Beachboard, I'll put a link to this if you need it. Although I think there's not tons of information here, but anyway, yeah, I'm happy to post it. Let me know if you have other questions. Meanwhile, I will just stall by giving you a tour. So as I was mentioning, over on this wall, I have these photo prints from kind of yesteryear. Doing a lot of photography lately, probably not so much in the next few months, but up until now I have been. But making prints doesn't really make sense anymore. So I have 3 picture frames, 3 video screens that show photography. So there's the the last screen is kind of behind that light, so it's sort of hard to see. But anyway, there's a couple of screens. So so that's the place. Maybe you'll come visit in November. 2020 going to be an interesting year, safe to say. There are primary elections going on tomorrow, but I think a couple states are keeping them, and a couple states maybe move the date. And it seems like Biden's kind of got it wrapped up. So for both the Democrats and the Republicans, the primaries may become kind of anticlimactic, at least on the presidential level, although there are many other things to vote on. But who knows how this virus will affect that. As I'm sure you know, Mayor Garcetti for the city of Los Angeles closed bars, restaurants, basically closed everything except banks, pharmacies. Hey, the Phenomenal Bunch. For a graphic design website, is it okay to have an other work page that shows off some non-design work we have done? Yeah, so my feeling about that is that whatever your focus is, if it's hire me to do graphic design, and you're going to have a menu bar that has a few choices, branding, typography, identity systems, package design, brochures, whatever few categories you want to focus your stuff on. The most important thing to me is that when somebody lands on your homepage, looks at your site, that if you're pitching yourself as a graphic designer, then I want it to be crystal clear, and that's your focus, your mission, your dedication. If you've accomplished all that, then I don't think there's anything wrong with having additional projects or other media or something like that tab at the end. That's probably fine. But what I'm concerned with is just that if we say, well, I do graphic design, but I also did some ceramics and some printmaking and did a little bit of painting, and I made a fiber piece, it gets too muddy, and then nobody hires you. So I want it to be really clear, this is your thing. And then I think if your main mission is clear, the fact that you've worked in other media or have other art experience, at that point, that only just makes you look like a more serious, richer, more complete artist. So I think that's great, as long as your main mission is really clear. Wow, when we're in 108A, the time goes by so fast. It's like, say a couple things, look at a couple pages, and boom, we're done already. And online, it's only 12:17, and I think we've said everything twice already. Yeah, great. So if you haven't already, pick your platform: Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, Medium, or anything else, and dive in and make. Yeah, I'll bring more food on Wednesday. We have the traveling bear, been, I guess, not traveled internationally, but been around America. We have the roller skating earbud sock monkey, who I bought in Puget Sound, top of Washington. Not recently, fortunately. And then we have Chinese New Year dog. It's cozy. They don't eat a lot of raisins, but good company. Don't talk too much, not obnoxious. Sun-made raisin? So in case anybody just arrived, go ahead and type in the little chat box on the side whatever your questions might be. I think I've said everything a couple times already, and I don't know if there's anybody new, so I'm not sure I want to repeat and bore you more than I'm already boring you, but let me know what I can help with. Basically, this week is take all of the words and images that you've been compiling up until now, pick a platform, Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, Medium, or something else, and just move all of that content over. Make a few new pages and put images and words, and then we can make it prettier. We can make your logo bigger or smaller, put your name. We can keep adjusting as we go, but at least try to get all that stuff on a website. Whatever platform you pick, it's going to be new to you, which means it'll be a little bit confusing, a little bit frustrating. And what I'd suggest is if you're trying to do something and you can't figure out how to do it, I'd poke around for a few minutes and see if you can figure out how to do it, because that will help you learn and kind of appreciate the interface or understand the interface, how it works. But more if it's too many minutes, then it's just going to get kind of frustrating and tiresome. So at that point, you can message me and maybe I can help, or you can message the Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, Medium tech support. Maybe they can help, or you can also just hop online and type whatever you're trying to do, and there will be videos and blogs and stuff saying, oh, in Wix pages to center an object, whatever it is you want. Somebody will have explained it, or a lot of people will have. So that's where we're at. We have some nice Lysol Brand New Day all-purpose cleaner, mango and hibiscus scent. And that's about it right now. And still raisins. We might have pickles on Wednesday. So yeah, YouTube doesn't, it only tells me that there are some people here and the number seems to like go up and down. It doesn't tell me who's here. So, oh, wait. It does tell me. It's all very confusing. So I'm not sure there's anybody here, but the number seems to indicate that people have arrived. So, oh, I like that. Anyway, I'm not sure who, if anyone, is here. But if you are here and you have any questions about Art 490, Long Beach State, pandemics, and life itself, go ahead and type and I'll share any info I'm able with you. Uh-oh. Running out of cashews. Wonder if you can get home delivery of cashews. That's pretty important. What do you actually think of the corona pandemic? Do you think it's as dangerous as they say, or it's just the media blowing things up? So, you know, as a faculty member, I should emphasize that I have no particular knowledge of the pandemic itself, or even what the future of Long Beach State will be. I'm just an individual guessing, like you are. It's obviously worth doing a little bit of research and trying to get the best information you can, you know, to make the best informed decisions you can. I forget his name, is it Felucci or something like that? The guy that you see on TV all the time now. He seems like a really good, smart guy. And he said, the hope, in answer to your question, is it super dangerous or is it overreaction? He said the hope is that it will, in the end, look like overreaction, because what that means is we prepared for the worst, and by doing so, we avoided the worst. Because I'm sure you've seen, you know, the curve can be really steep or it can be not so steep. My sense is it's pretty serious. You know, the good news for Art 490 students is that you all are in the least at-risk age group. You know, really young, like infants and maybe young children are at risk, and people older than you are at risk. You know, 20-year-olds can still get infected, can still get sick, can still die, but it's much less likely than, you know, for older folks. So my sense is that it's not the media blowing things up, that quite the opposite, that we are only beginning to appreciate how serious this thing is. It seems to me like it's going to be months of dire circumstances, and that really, you know, the life we knew a week or two ago is not going to be back till like late 2020. So, you know, time will tell. I mean, it could be that we're back on campus on April 20th. That's possible. But my guess is, if anything, it's not will we be back in spring, but I'm starting to feel more like it's will there be a face-to-face fall semester. And by then, it's very likely that there will be, but, you know, I don't even know if that's guaranteed. I think we're looking at months of people getting sick and needing to isolate. So, you know, the regular flu is pretty bad, and this is I don't know numbers. I shouldn't even try to quote because I probably don't know. But this gets way more people sick. They're way sicker. It kills more people. It seems like it's a pretty big deal, and it seems like, again, who knows? Don't want to be more alarmist than necessary, but it seems like we're looking at up to half of all Americans, or even potentially more than half of all Americans being infected. Being infected doesn't mean you're sick. Some people will get the infection and maybe pass it on to others, but not become sick themselves. But it's overwhelming as far as I understand. So it seems pretty serious. Not my impression that, I mean, I guess the media can blow anything up, but in this case, I think, if anything, we've been probably too slow to act, and we should have done more sooner. So that's where we are. What other classes do you have? Are they going to work out okay also? Or obviously Art 490, not too tricky since we're just using the laptop and the internet, but you know, if you had like a ceramics class or something, that might be hard to do off campus. Better not OD on raisins. Robert Rockford, hi. Fabrication is still trying to figure it all out, sounds like. Yeah, these things are going to be evolving. And again, Rob, I'm not sure if you've been here the whole time or just arrived, but it seems like we're still ramping up to how serious the thing is. I know I'm doing some stuff over at Santa Monica College, and they were on the exact same kind of page as Long Beach State, just one day behind. So everything, we did, like when the announcement came, and then we had these couple of days off, and then class resumes and all of that. They were doing everything the same, one day behind. And somewhat like Long Beach, Santa Monica said, most classes are going online, but some classes like performing arts and other things like that would still meet face-to-face. And then I think yesterday, Santa Monica sent out a new email from the president saying everything's going online, including, performing arts and things like that. And that actually, they said in half hour at 1 o'clock today, Santa Monica, not Long Beach, just FYI, they were going to publish a list of classes that would simply have to be canceled because they can't be facilitated any longer. So I think, much like, people said, well, you can't have a gathering of more than 500. And I'm sampling different pieces of information from different states when I say this, and then, in New York or wherever, and then they said, okay, it can't be more than 50. And it really seems like absolute minimal contact is where we're headed. So in terms of Santa Monica, they're locking the campus up. It's still like Long Beach. They're still letting people come in and use a computer if they need it to get online. But they're locking the campus up more than they were planning to even just a couple of days ago. I don't know if Long Beach will do the same or not. Also, I think Santa Monica, like Long Beach, was originally planning to have staff still be on site, even if students and faculty weren't. And yesterday's email said that I think today and tomorrow they're working on moving all staff either home or off-site, so Santa Monica is really going to be kind of a ghost town. Long Beach probably already is, but could potentially be even more so. So in terms of fabrication, I don't know about that. You'll have to see what they tell you, but there it is. What do you think about fabrication? Chinese New Year's dog says, I don't know, fabricated in space? Anyway, if I can help with anything on websites or Long Beach or pandemics or life itself, let me know. It's fun, basically learning to use building materials like wood and welding. Yeah, I don't know. I think none of that, if I understand correctly, nothing is going to be on campus until after spring break. And then after spring break, they're going to try to keep absolutely as much as possible off campus, but there may be certain things, like if you need a welder, they may let people come back for that. And whether that would be the whole class or maybe, half the class one day and the other half the class the other day, so people could be apart. But again, it seems like the virus is ramping up. So, whatever we thought a day or two ago, it seems to become more serious by the day and even by the hour. So I don't know what Long Beach State's response will be, but I really don't know. I shouldn't say anything, but it just, it kind of feels like the response is going to get more dramatic, more conservative, if you want, So we'll see. But I think they're very, everyone is dedicated to, number one, keeping you all safe, but number two, helping you all get through the semester, finish your classes, particularly people who are graduating, to get your degrees. What Aubrey Mintz, the director of the School of Art, said last week was, it's great that we have faculty that care so much and want the students to learn so much. The ultimate course in, art topic X is no longer what we're focused on. It's no longer what's the best we can give you. It's now, how do we keep people off campus, reduce contact, keep people safe, and within that, what's the reduced version that we can do that can still get you through whatever that course is. So again, in terms of Art 490, we probably don't need to reduce anything because it was all really online content anyway. But in terms of fabrication or things like that, whether they'll have you come back to campus after break and work with tools in just a careful way or not, I have no idea. We'll find out. I was thinking actually about dance. Dance so often, like there are lifts or there's contact improvisation where you're interacting with other dancers, and so that seems like a particularly I don't know what they're doing. I think maybe they've canceled. I don't know how that's going to work for them, but I was thinking it'd be cool to get 6-foot diameter spheres would be probably kind of expensive objects to fabricate, but I don't know, yardsticks or something. It would be kind of cool to put a big sphere or circle around dancers and have them kind of move in a space that meditated on this new distance that we need to keep, which maybe would be at its most absurd in the context of dance work. Anyway, peppermint iced tea, not iced tea, hot tea. So have you picked a platform, Wix or Squarespace or something? Is it going okay? Yes, I've decided to use Joomla because it's a cool name. I'm putting all my pages up. Oh, that's right. You told me last week, WordPress. Got it. This is the site that you already sort of got started, right? So it's kind of under control. And yeah, WordPress is good. I use it a lot. Let me know if you have questions. Yeah, so so for Rob, I think WordPress is a great choice. Vborn for you, probably just Wix or Squarespace. If you don't, let's pop over. Yeah, excited to see the end result. That'll be good. I assume you still see me even if I put up a different tab. I'm not sure about that, but I think that's probably true. So what am I looking at? Oh, the pricing, yeah. So the pricing, I have not updated this super recently, so these could have gone up, but they'll either be these prices or maybe a couple dollars more. So Wix is, you can have it for nothing, or it was to get a URL and turn the ads off, $11 a month, $132 a year. I think that may be 160 something now. I'm not positive. I'll try to check that. And then Squarespace is 144 a year. There is no freemium option, but they'll give students half off the first year, so it would be 72. So depending on whether Wix went up or not, Squarespace is roughly the same price. The advantage to Squarespace is that as a student, you can have half off your first year, The advantage to Wix is that you don't have to use the paid option. You can use the free version and just have me.wix.com and let them run a couple ads if you're starving a student and broke right now. So I'd probably just use that. But basically, I would pick Wix or Squarespace for most people. Yeah. So don't be overwhelmed by the list. It doesn't make that much difference. They're all fine. They all can do about the same stuff. You know, if you're used to one and you try another one, the other one will seem harder because you don't know how it works. But, you know, coming from scratch, they're about the same. Yeah, it's funny. So there's a Photoshop alternative called GIMP. GIMP stands for GNU Image Processing. Anyway, GIMP is open source, which is cool. I've used it from time to time. It basically does everything. So GIMP doesn't do like CMYK. So if you were actually printing, you wouldn't do that. But for most web RGB applications, GIMP does everything Photoshop does. But because I use Photoshop so much and I don't really use GIMP, when I do use GIMP, it always leaves me kind of confused. But I think it's not that GIMP's actually harder. It's just that I haven't put the time in. I had a student a while back who learned on GIMP, and he had some really cool thing, and he was showing me how he did it. I said, "Oh, you did that in GIMP?" And he said, "Yeah, everything is easy in GIMP. Photoshop is so confusing and hard." So I think, you know, if you learn Photoshop first, then GIMP seems hard. If you learn GIMP first, then Photoshop seems hard. I think Squarespace, Wix, it's the same deal. They all can look pretty much the same, and, you know, they all have thing to drop on page, buttons to adjust it, etc. So don't stress, just pick one. It'll be fine. Well, there you go. And is GIMP easy? I think we were talking about open source last week, maybe in the classroom. And you know, so before Adobe went SaaS, software as a service, and just sold you software, you know, you could buy Photoshop, and then you could buy the update or not buy the update, or you could use the 5-year-old version if it still ran, et cetera, et cetera. Now that Adobe has transitioned to SaaS, you know, when you're no longer a student, it's going to be $50 a month for the rest of your life, which again, not a lot of money given how many pieces of software they give you that you can use in so many different ways. So as a working professional, I don't think it's that big a deal. It's just kind of creepy to think that you're basically going to have to pay them $50 a month for as long as you live. So the appeal of using GIMP instead of Photoshop, Inkscape instead of Illustrator, I forget what the InDesign equivalent is, but basically, you know, there's an open source version of everything. But the reality is that the creative world has pretty much settled entirely on the Adobe Creative Cloud. So, you know, as someone who's not an arts professional, I think a piece of software like GIMP that they don't have to keep paying for could be really awesome. But as an arts professional, you know, if we, the faculty, were to have you use programs like GIMP and Inkscape instead of Photoshop and Illustrator because they're free and open, I don't think we'd actually be, even though I'm an open source zealot, I don't think it'd be doing you a favor, because that's not what the world that you're going to be entering is going to be using. So, so there we have it. Anyway, picking platforms shouldn't be painful. There's too many choices. It's like a restaurant with too much on the menu. Well, we don't go to restaurants anymore. So I guess you can still have Postmates and Uber Eats deliver for you. But anyway, you know, it's like when there's too much on the menu, it's oppressive. It's just like, tell me what you want to eat. It's a nice mug from Bubble Republic. It's a little boba place not far from here. All out of cashews. Who cares about websites? We have no more cashews. That's pretty serious. Now what are we going to do? Okay, 12:47. This is an exciting Monday, isn't it? Anyway, as I've said a bunch of times already, I hope you're doing well. It feels like this new or temporary normal is going to be the new or temporary normal for quite a long time. So I hope you're finding ways to adapt. If you've got a, like a food service job or a lot of different jobs, I don't know if you're going to wind up being unemployed or how that, what kind of stress that might cause. But I hope things work out for everyone. Obviously we want to be safe in terms of the virus, both individually for ourselves and also not to transmit it to other people in our lives. But I think being safe, or what our cities and our campuses, our college campuses are having to do, is obviously going to cause stress of its own. So, be well. If you're feeling stressed, don't forget that Long Beach State CAPS, Counseling and Psychological Services, they have a 24/7 phone line that you can call. If you call Monday to Friday during the day, somebody in Brotman Hall picks that up. But if you call at night or on the weekend, it rolls over and a licensed professional somewhere picks that up and can talk to you about anything. So we have faculty, we have staff, we have advisors if you have any of those kinds of questions. But if you're feeling, stressed or depressed, or if anything's, it's unusual times to say the least. So there's a ton of resources on campus. Don't be afraid to take advantage of any of them. Okay, 12:49. So my YouTube Live, the participant list says I'm the only one here. Oh no, Vborn keeps appearing and disappearing. Not sure what that's about. And then over here on the little user count, it says there's 5 people. So I'm not sure which of those two things is true. But anyway, it's 12:50, so I guess we're about done. Shoot me an email if you have questions about absolutely anything, or if I can help with absolutely anything. And I will post as appropriate stuff online. But it seems like everybody kind of knows where we're at. So work on websites, take care of yourself, be well, be happy. I believe that Mayor Garcetti for the city of Los Angeles, which many of us are in other cities, but I believe that for the city of Los Angeles, Mayor Garcetti has closed like everything except for pharmacies, banks, and food markets. So you can't go to a movie theater, and that probably wouldn't have been a bad idea anyway. But you can still, of course, do Netflix. So Netflix, with or without chill, might be a good idea. So I guess I will figure out. This week was already really just scheduled to be a work on your websites week, and then we're supposed to start critiquing them next week. So maybe we should see if we can do that. But then the week after next week is spring break already, so maybe we'll hang until then, although we want to have time to look at everybody's website. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I guess I will end this, and by request, I'll post it, although as you might have noticed, it's mostly me talking about nothing for 50 minutes. So maybe that's what I do every week, but it's much more nothing than usual today. Anyway, be well, and do send me an email if I can help with anything, and I guess I'll click end stream. Happy Monday. I'll be streaming again on Wednesday if you want to poke your nose in and say hi or ask any questions. We tried YouTube Live, which worked okay. Wednesday, I'll try Zoom, which I think actually might be better for us, but we'll give that a try. Be well, be safe. See you soon.